Have you ever forgotten someone's name, like 2 seconds after they said it? Yeah, of course you have. We all have. So in this explainer, we're going to dive into why our brains can be so, well, forgetful. We'll look at some classic memory hacks and then reveal a super simple technique backed by science that might just be the most powerful one of all.
You know the feeling. We have all been there. You meet someone new, you have a great conversation, and then 30 seconds later, poof, their name is just gone, vanished. It's that exact moment, that everyday act of forgetting, that we're going to tackle today. Look, our memory is absolutely crucial for just getting through the day, but man, it can be surprisingly fragile. And for a lot of us, it kind of feels like it only gets trickier over time.
So what's getting in the way of a perfect memory? Well, it's a whole host of things. If you've ever had to cram for a test, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Your health, your stress levels, your mood, and especially how tired you are, all of it can have a huge impact on your ability to remember stuff when you really need to.
Okay, before we jump into the memory hacks, let's talk about fuel. Fuel for your brain. Which one of these foods do you think is the best for supporting good memory? Is it going to be eggs, spinach, or bananas? Just have a think about it, and we'll circle back to the answer a little later on. All right, let's get into some of the traditional methods people use when they really need to lock in some facts. You've probably tried a few of these yourself. Ah, yes, the old classic rote repetition. This is basically the brute force method of memory, right? Just writing something down or saying it over and over and over again and just hoping it sticks. I mean, it can work, but it's definitely not the most efficient way to do it. You've probably heard experts talk about different learning styles. You've got your visual learners who need to see information. You have auditory learners who do better hearing it. And then there are the kinesthetic learners. Those are the people who learn best by actually doing something, practicing it. So we have writing things down, seeing them, hearing them, and doing them. Those are the big ones. But what if there's a method that actually combines the best parts of all of them into one single, even more powerful technique?
Well, it turns out there is. A recent study has zeroed in on one surprisingly simple activity that might just be the single most effective way to lock new information into your brain. And believe it or not, all you need is a pen and a piece of paper.
And here is the absolute best part. You do not need to be an artist, not even close. The power isn't in creating some masterpiece. No, it's in the simple act of sketching out an idea, of doodling, to really lock it into your brain.
Now this all sounds pretty cool, but why does it work? I mean, why is a quick little sketch of a word or a concept so much more powerful than just writing it down a dozen times? Let's dive into the science. Psychologists who studied this found that drawing actually forces your brain to engage with information on a much deeper level. They call it creating an increased contextual representation in your mind.
So what in the world is a contextual representation? Well, it's basically the rich mental picture you create. Think about it. When you draw a word like tree, you're not just thinking of the letters T-R-E-E. You're forced to think about its shape, its leaves, its roots, where it belongs in the world. You're adding all this rich context.
And this connects directly to the process we call encoding, which is that critical first step of memory. It's how your brain takes all this raw info and changes it into a form that it can actually store away for later.
And that's the secret right there. By drawing something, you're making your brain encode that information with far more detail than you would by just writing the word. You're thinking about all its different features, which creates a stronger, more detailed memory trace that's way easier to recall later on. So, drawing is clearly a memory superpower, but it's not the only tool you've got. Let's take a look at a few other ways you can help keep your mind sharp. Hey, remember our little quiz from the beginning? We asked which of these 3 foods was the best for your memory. You got your final answer locked in? Well, it was a little bit of a trick question. The correct answer is all of them. That's right, eggs, spinach, and bananas are all excellent for supporting good memory function.
And here's why. All 3 of them are rich in B vitamins. And these vitamins are really crucial because they help provide protection for the brain as we get older, keeping those memory pathways strong and healthy. And just like with drawing, the real key here is active engagement. Beyond just your diet, a classic brain workout like a crossword or a Sudoku puzzle also forces your brain to actively search for connections and information, which is a proven way to keep your recall sharp. So, now you know. The next time you have something you absolutely positively cannot forget, a name, a concept, even just a shopping list, don't just write it, draw it. Seriously, give it a try and see what you remember.